Hi, I'm Becca St. James, and I'm continuing on with part 2 of chapter 3. The rooms are the Erotican room, the Flight 69 room, the Broadway room, and the Little Vegas room, which hosted many porn stars. The Erotican room was panes of glass that were windows that looked inside a booth. They could see in better than we could see out, but we recognized them by the tips they sent through the slots. I loved those incredibly attractive $50 and $100 guys the best. The girls used dildos and whips as props, and they wore black outfits because the room had a dungeon motif. The Flight 69 room was where the girls wore stewardess outfits, and they would give the speech about the oxygen masks, and it was, to say the least, not the same thing as a commercial airline. Jasmine was in the Broadway room that night, and which was the best, which had a big stage, and it was by far the best room to her because she could dance. It was not always the best money-making room, but she had the most fun there. I always liked the other rooms the best because I felt awkward on stage. The clock reads 8:45, the song is about to end, and Jasmine is to go on stage. I heard her mind chatter, "How does she do it?" She went on stage and danced beautifully. She took a flattering bow and ran off the stage after her first song. As I watched the tape roll later, I watched her. I have an angelic camera on Jasmine or anyone else I want to keep an eye on at all times, so that I can be in many places I need to be at once and still know what is going on. I just love my job. At the start of her second song, a man from the back of the room wearing a blue corduroy jacket came forward as I said he would, and he put a row of six $5 bills on the stage with a row of 6 tens below it, and below that 6 20s. I could hear Jasmine's mind chatter again. If I were a mathematician, I'd be trying to crack that code. What is he trying to tell me? The man is mesmerized with her as she dances. I hate to brag, but I'm always right over here in Angel World. It wasn't like that when I was human. I was constantly having to suck up and apologize because I felt like I was never right. She paid attention only to him, ignoring all the other $1 bills everyone else had laid out for her on the other parts of the stage. Excitedly, she hurried off the stage and up to the dressing room when the song ended. She quickly got dressed and went swiftly down the stairs. He was waiting in the doorway. She coolly walked out through the curtain and out to the entrance of the Broadway room, and there he was waiting to greet her. "May I have the pleasure of your company, Jasmine?" "You certainly may," she said, as she stretched out her hand. "And what shall I call you?" He took her hand and gently kissed it. "Why, Wallace Jackson, my dear lady, and you are a vision to behold." Jasmine takes him by the hand and leads him over to where there was an empty seat, and she motioned him to sit down while she sat on his lap. "You don't have to do any of that lap dancing I hear about. Just sit here next to me. It's been a long time since I've been taken back by someone. I had a feeling that coming here was going to be eventful." Jasmine smiled as Wallace reached for his wallet. He pulled out 5 $100 bills and handed them to her. "Will this be sufficient for the next hour or so?" With a look of awe, Jasmine replied, "That will be fine." Wallace and Jasmine talked for about 45 minutes, getting to know one another, and then Wallace looked down at his shoes for a solemn moment, as she could tell he was a bit distressed. He looked up at her with sad eyes. "You are very sweet and easy to talk to. I appreciate that." His eyes averted a bit to the left and then turned back to meet Jasmine's eyes again. "My wife is sick." He paused. "The doctors gave her 6 months to live. She started out with it in her lymph. You know, the cancer." Jasmine gave him an empathetic look. "You mean Hodgkin's lymphoma?" "Yes, but now it's in her colon. It's metastasizing rapidly. I love her very much, and I would remain faithful to her long after she's gone, but she has insisted I come here." Now, I'm glad she did. She wanted me to hire an escort, but I couldn't do it. I agreed to come here, and that made her happy. She doesn't want me to sit around and be sad about her. Well, that is real love. You are two very lucky people to have found love and had it for all these years. You're right about that. I like you, and I think, what are the odds of getting lucky here tonight as well? You must have done something right. I would like to come see you again, if you don't mind. Wow, look at the time. My hour's up. Jasmine shook her head as if to indicate she was not watching the clock. No. He reached for his wallet again and pulled out another 5 $100 bills. Jasmine was floored. He stayed till the end of the night and told her he would be back, and asked her what was the next day she would be working. Thank God for nights like these, Jasmine thought. Now I can kick it for the rest of the week. Lily is light-skinned with French Indian and African background, with a tiny petite body that is curvy with full B-cup breasts, a heart-shaped ass, and a heart the size of Texas, yet she's kind of a hard ass. Lily's name on stage was Aphrodite, and she has been friends with Jasmine for 11 years, yet only friends with me for 1 year before I died. I loved her dearly, though. Lily is 29 now, and in Lily's opinion, Jasmine never grieved my death. She believes that Jasmine suffers post-traumatic stress due to the loss of mine and Jasmine's close relationship and Jasmine's unwillingness to let me go. Let me go? How absurd. Why would Jasmine want to do that? Lily often catches us in our interactions, and fortunately for Jasmine, Lily usually chalks it up to the phenomenon of her own insanity, but sometimes Jasmine has to take the fall. Lily has a complex about thinking she's going crazy like her mother, who died in a mental institution when she was 10. Lily was brought up religious, or in other words, Catholic, by her father, who taught her that it was sacrilegious to be spiritual. Her mother was spiritual and read the tarot and practiced astrology before she went crazy, so Lily's father forbade Lily to be spiritually open-minded. He told her if she did the same, she would end up just like her mother. God knows what he would say if he knew she was an erotic dancer. Anyway, Lily will take that secret to the grave if she has it her way. Lily has been dancing for almost 11 years. When it comes to dancing and drinking a bit, Lily has no inhibitions. Lily has been having an affair with Tim Morelli, the half-owner of the one-stop sexy shop, for 2 years. Tim is married to Carla, so Tim and Lily had realized about 6 months ago it was best for her to work at the candy shop club for discretion's sake. She doesn't make quite as much money as she did at the sexy shop, but Tim pays some of her bills to make it easier for her. Lily is Jasmine's baby, and she loves Jasmine like a big sister. Lily is going to cosmetology school, and she believes that a makeover is a cure for anything that ails you. Anastasia is a rather flamboyant character, and she kisses up to all the new girls or anyone she thinks might get a good room schedule with her at the sexy shop. Ruby is her stage name, and Ruby has to send a lot of her money home to Russia to support her sisters and mothers there, because the father died and they have no means of support except for Annie. Annie's father left them in a lot of debt when he died. No one knows if it was gambling or just business. She is straight and is what is described in the gay community as a fag hag. She hangs out at the bars with gay men, and they love her because she's bitchy and obnoxious. Her name offstage is Anastasia, but at home or anywhere else, especially at work, she is Ruby. With all of her debts in mind, she starts working in a restaurant in a popular gay area with the money she's made from the sexy shop. She still dances, though, because it's difficult to replace those tax-free stripper dollars.